Origin Wars is released on digital download today and is also released on Blu-ray and DVD on the 24th of July. It follows this man who works for this large corporation as some kind of security officer who finds out that there is a plan to destroy a planet in order to cover up something dastardly that these people have been doing. People he works for, as I say. But his daughter is on said planet, so he must go down there, breaking protocol, in order to get her off. When he gets down there, he teams up with an escaped convict, played by that acting paragon, Kellan Lutz, in order to rescue his daughter and get off the planet. Now, I wasn't expecting anything from this film at all, but I will say right up front, it's definitely not a classic by any stretch. But it's a very small budgeted film, and actors who mostly I've never heard of, and the ones I have heard of, as I say, are Kellan Lutz, who, quite frankly, I only know from the Twilight series, and that was enough to put me off. Now, he doesn't prove himself here to be any kind of Oscar contender, but he does do pretty well. You know, he puts in a fairly decent performance, and there are a few moments in it where he does get to dare I say, shine. The standout, however, is the little girl, Tegan Croft, who plays the daughter of this man, this security guy who has to go back and rescue her. Yeah, she kind of carries most of the scenes she's in, to be honest. She does a really good performance. So, yeah, one to watch out for, I think. The only thing I think she's known for is the TV series Home and Away, which, yeah, I don't watch. I don't do soaps. There's a lot of influences in this film. It feels like a mishmash of like a dozen different science fiction films that you'll have seen before. There's a bit of Mad Max in there, a bit of Fortress in there, Aliens. Not a great deal of originality, you know. There's a bit of Pitch Black in there, I guess, as well, that kind of thing. But it meshes together surprisingly well. Elysium is another one, and Oblivion more recently. I see bits of those films in here as well. So definitely not original by any stretch. But like I say, you put all those elements together and somehow it works. Now, it's the story is told in this style in which we kind of go to different points in time. So things are revealed about certain characters, not in a linear way, but in a non-linear way. So, you know, it kind of gives us information as and when we need it in order to help us kind of grow with these characters, so to speak. It works in a way, and in other ways it does feel a bit jumpy. Like there are times when you're kind of like, right, where are we now? What's going on? But yeah, for the most part, it kind of works. It's an entertaining film. It's definitely like a full-on science fiction film. You know, if you want proper sci-fi, then definitely check it out. I actually found it quite enjoyable. Like I say, I didn't think I would. I wasn't expecting much at all from it, but I was pleasantly surprised. Even on the meager budget that they have by Hollywood standards, they did pull off some pretty mean feats with it. There's an aerial battle involving these small spacecraft, which, again, like I say, it ain't Star Wars, but for what they're working with, it did the trick. It did the job. The creature design is kind of reminiscent of some of the Jim Henson work that was done on films like The Dark Crystal or Labyrinth. I like the fact that they've gone with practical effects. Again, I think that's a budgetary thing, but it works. I think if you'd gone with CGI on something like this, on a film this small, then it would have looked really bad. But because it's physical, it helps. Daniel McPherson, who plays the father trying to rescue the daughter, he's adequate in this, but I kind of feel like they went with the wrong look for this guy, because he's a man who's supposed to be a real military guy, someone who's quite tough, quite seasoned, seen quite a lot of action, but he looks like someone who's just walked straight off a catwalk, you know? So it's not necessarily his acting ability that kind of fails me here. It's more his look. It's more that pretty boy look. I just don't think suits this character. Now, I think they do kind of go some way to answering that when you see the people he works with. There's a moment in the film where they're kind of like the not really the Doctor Strangelove table, but in effect that kind of thing. You know, the war room. They're all kind of stood around this table talking to each other, and I suddenly realised that all the men, they were all wearing the same uniforms, but they all looked like each other. Like literally, like I was having trouble telling them apart. And then I kind of thought that actually this is probably a purposeful thing. There's some kind of weird undercurrent, like master race kind of thing going on here. That you know, they hire a particular type because of the corporation and their obvious dodgy dealings with what's going on in the film. And you get this female character who kind of leads them all. She's got a little bit of a Hitler in her, it must be said. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's what they were going for. They were going for that kind of vibe. However, because they don't really play on it much more than just showing us that these guys all look the same, we could have done without it, you know? So, yeah. I think cast someone else. Again, not because McPherson is a bad actor. I just don't think his look suited the film. Or dirty him up a bit, you know. Tamura Morrison is in this as well. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name correctly, but yeah, he's been in Star Wars and Once Were Warriors. He plays just a horrible person, really, in this. He's a prison warden, and yeah, he does some nasty things. He plays quite a good villain, I think. He gets some dialogue that seems a bit heavy-handed, and others he manages to do something with. Whether that's his talents as an actor or the writing, I will leave for you to decide. But yeah, he's entertaining as a villain. I think if you're a fan of science fiction movies, then you could definitely do a lot worse than this film. It is entertaining, there's a lot of action in it, it does breeze along quite nicely. Like I say, a few heavy-handed dialogue moments, a few maybe casting choices, and yeah, a little bit of confusion in the way the narrative's plotted. That aside, I was entertained by it more than perhaps I should have been. I give this a 3 out of 5. If you've seen Origin Wars, or as it's known in other territories, the Osiris Child Science Fiction Volume 1, really long title, what a mouthful. Yeah, if you've seen it, comment below and let me know what you thought about it. Until next time, cracking.